Hey guys, I'm Logan Freeman, and this is the Livefree Investors Podcast. I interview investors and business owners who share investment advice so you too can live free. Today, I'm talking to Owen Barrett. Owen, in a few sentences, tell us who you are and what you do.
Hey, Logan, thanks for having me. My name is Owen Barrett. I am an energy expert over the last 10 years, helping organizations and individuals save energy by saving money. Over the last 18 months, I've become more of a passive investor in multifamily real estate and trying to merge the two interests to help multifamily owners and operators save money, increase returns by doing environmental value add strategies.
Very interesting. And Owen, you have an interesting background that you focused on this with school districts. So tell us a little bit about your experience working with those type of projects and how you're parlaying that into multifamily now.
Yeah, so I started off in corporate America. I was an energy manager for a Fortune 500 company. I left that job to start a niche ESCO to help the public sector. So, corporate America has all the people and money that they need to invest in these types of projects. And I thought there was a really interesting opportunity to help the public sector, specifically schools, have more operating budget or flexibility in their operating budget by spending less on utilities. So I started a company called Lumio. In California, there was this very unique opportunity. It was called Prop 39. It was a 5-year grant program to help school districts and public charter schools invest in energy efficiency and renewable energy. And in about 18 months, we did $12 million of business with 40 different schools across California. And it's just amazing because for schools, every dollar that they save in energy can be that they spend hiring a new teacher, buying a computer, buying books, etc. So it's critical to the success of our schools that they spend really as little as possible on energy, not by shutting off lights or by, having 4-day weeks, by implementing solar, by getting LED lights, by optimizing their HVAC systems. And at the end of the day, it seems like that similar opportunity exists with multifamily owners. It's not so much of a societal impact, but multi owners are all about delivering returns to investors. And right now they're leaving a huge amount of money on the table, a huge amount of returns on that they could improve by incorporating these types of strategies. So we see it as a really unique opportunity to kind of do a similar thing, different demographic of people.
Awesome, man. Thank you for sharing that. What would you say the best thing about being an investor and a business owner is?
Flexibility.
Yeah.
My wife and I built out a Sprinter van last year, 2 years ago, and being able to work on the road, do the same thing that I can do from my home or from my office on the road and or at a cafe. It's unbelievable. So, I had a daughter 8 months ago. I know you did too. Just being able to wake up or to not have to go to the office right away, to really, watch her grow up. It's so important. And it's just, I can't put it into words how thankful I feel that I have the time to be able to do that and the flexibility.
Absolutely. I mean, that's what we're all about here on the Live Free Investor Podcast, is figuring out how to live free. So thank you for sharing that. What would you say the best advice that you've received as an investor and a business owner is?
So I'm still pretty new in my investor days. So I'll focus on the business owner part. I was working as a corporate energy manager, trying to launch my company at the same time. At the time, it was called Watt Tito. I live in Southern California. Spanish is, just as prevalent as English here. And Watt Tito means little watt. So it didn't end up being called Watt Tito. It was called Lumio. But I was pitching a potential investor into my company. And this guy, he was raised on the East Coast, very blunt to the point. He just said, well, what are you doing to make money while you're starting this business? And I said, I still have a full-time job trying to do this. It's my side hustle. And he said, to the point, I don't invest in part-time entrepreneurs. And it stung. It was as upfront as you can get. But ultimately, I think within a month, I quit my job. And I was a full-time entrepreneur. And he didn't invest in my company. I ended up just kind of bootstrapping it. But it was, it was a in the ass that I needed to
That's right.
quit my job, to really do what I was trying to do full time. And I just actually had a reconnected with him and thanked him for doing that, 4 or 5 years ago, because it made all the difference in the world.
Yeah, that's really cool, man. That is a really cool story. Well, hopefully that guy may invest in a new project that you're
Yeah,
doing these
exactly.
days. That's cool. This is your opportunity, Owen. This is a really social show. This is your opportunity to promote somebody to the show. So what other successful investor, business owner, entrepreneur like yourself should be on the Live Free podcast?
So I've been trying to connect and follow a lot of multifamily operators and syndicators on LinkedIn, on Instagram, et cetera, kind of see who's out there and who's active in the space. And I see Jorge Abreu, I think is how you pronounce his last name. I haven't actually connected with him, but it seems like he's doing incredible things in Texas. And he just is a very motivational guy on his social media. So I think he'd be a great guest.
Wonderful. Well, we will get Jorge on for sure. The most important question of the podcast, Owen, how do you live free?
Man, I think I live free by always having goals. I would say that, I'm very fortunate to sort of have hit my life goals early on. I'm fortunate of all the flexibility I have, the success I've had so far, but
Sure.
continue to set super lofty goals. Because at the end of the day, I think if you get complacent, you may find yourself in a position where you're not living so free anymore. So goal setting, I think, is critical to this lifestyle.
I'm a big goal setter myself, and we've talked a lot about that, Owen. So do you have a tip around how you set goals? There's SMART goals. There's all these different journals. Do you use anything specifically that works for you?
Not specific, but I would say, take the Grant Cardone approach.
Yeah.
Make a goal and then 10x it.
Yes.
Because usually the first goal it's too doable. And
Yeah.
if something can be done in months or a year, for me, that's not big enough, because once you accomplish it, then, you're back to square one. I think you and I were talking at the beginning of the year about, what should some of these goals be? And
Yep.
at first they were very doable and manageable. And I don't know if I 10x'd it, but I increased it probably a couple 100%. And now it's exciting to get up every day and work towards those goals.
I love that, man. That's such a good notion. And one thing that I have somewhat struggled with over the years is reading the tendency of setting those SMART goals, right? Of being specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time bound, but also knowing and experiencing the limiting belief that can actually cause for you. And so, 10X rule, Grant Cardone is something that I listen to on a quarterly basis. His investment thesis is not one that we share together. I do not invest in or necessarily agree with everything that he does from that standpoint, but his mentality around setting goals has been awesome for me. And I do agree with the tendency of setting 10X goals. Anything else that you want to share with the listeners, Owen?
No, I mean, just, I think it's really hard to quit your job if this is what you're trying to do and start something up from scratch 100%. So I would say have it as a side hustle as long as you can. Do your prototypes, whatever they are, while you have the security of a full-time job. But ultimately it almost always requires, quitting and dedicating 100% to whatever it is you start. So just have that confidence and that courage and find the right time and just go for it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, thank you for sharing that. This is Logan Freeman with the Live Free Investor Podcast, where investors and business owners share advice so you too can live free. For more insights and ideas on how you can live free, you can connect with message with myself, Logan Freeman, and Owen Barrett on LinkedIn. I tag him just about weekly in a post or two. So you guys can definitely connect with Owen. Owen, thanks for joining today. And until next time, live free.
Thanks, Logan.